Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne. This is going to be a teaching on 6 keys to walking under an open heaven. I'd say the first key to walking under an open heaven would be what I've listed as number 5 here, knowledge and testimonies. It's only through reading books, possibly reading the Bible, but reading books and watching videos of people who operate under an open heaven, people who walk and talk to Jesus, people who meet Jesus in visions, people who meet angels, people who meet saints from heaven, people who encounter heaven, people who have angels manifest to them and walk with them in day-to-day life. People who have Jesus manifest to them and walk with them in day-to-day life. People who have saints talk to them and walk with them in day-to-day life. I've got a number of saints. My mother and father, Michael Jackson, Princess Diana, Mary Magdalene, that walk with me every time I go out to the shops. They bilocate. They're actually in heaven and on earth at the same time, and they witness me interacting with people. They witness me encouraging people, giving people compliments, and giving people prophetic words. And they comment from time to time on what I do. If you don't know it's possible, if you haven't got the knowledge and testimonies of other people of what's possible, you can't really step into something. I've got a book called Walking Under an Open Heaven, and this is a subject I've known a little about for years. And I wrote that book about 5 years ago. So this is one of the keys to walking under an open heaven is to understand that it's possible and have the faith to know that you can step into it. Another key to walking under an open heaven is having faith that you can. When you read the testimony and you read the ideas people have, you can you need to have the faith that you also can step into it and practice it. There's books. Michael Van Vlymen has got a book, How to See in the Spirit. Praying Medic has got a book called How to See in the Spirit, same sort of book. You can get those books and develop the faith and go through the practice that they recommend in those books to open your spiritual eyes so that you can see. I've got a book called 9 Keys to Accessing the Unseen Realm. That's a book that's helpful, and a Praying Medic book and the Michael Van Vlymen book are mentioned in that book. So you have to have the faith. Nothing in the Christian world comes without faith, and God moves according to our faith. And so you have to have the faith that you can walk under an open heaven before it'll happen. One major key, another key here is intimacy with Jesus. if you haven't got intimacy with Jesus, there's a good chance your encounters will be counterfeit. They'll be demons instead of angels. There'll be demons instead of other saints, and it'll be the false Christ rather than the angel of light, rather than the real Christ. And it is possible to meet the false Christ, the angel of light. I've actually met him. I've met someone masquerading, an entity masquerading as Michael the Archangel, and at the same time met the angel of light masquerading as Jesus. They both had a strong presence on them. It was convincing, and I was fooled. I've actually met a false Mary Magdalene that was spending time with me. I've actually met a false angel that's a scribe angel that I interact with, Bethany. So I've met the counterfeit of the originals, and I talk about some of those counterfeit experiences in my book, My Radical Encounters with Angels, book 2. So if you don't have tremendous intimacy with Jesus, and I do have tremendous intimacy with Jesus, but if you don't have tremendous intimacy with Jesus, you can fall prey to counterfeits. Even though I had intimacy, and I still fell prey, and that may detract you, that may stop you from pursuing things, knowing that there's a counterfeit, but the counterfeit has fruit. There's fruit that comes from the experience of the counterfeits, and you can discern that fruit. Key number 3 is, once you start interacting with the supernatural, once you have your spiritual eyes opened and you start to interact with saints and angels and Jesus and God and heaven, one of the keys to really walking under a strong and efficient open heaven is practice. And very few people take the time to practice. Practice is hard and it's laborious, and it takes time, and it's hard sometimes to make progress. Both Praying Medic and Michael Van Vlymen had to have a lot of practice before they entered in to having good gifts. I was fortunate, my spiritual sight just came straight away, but I still have to practice seeing angels and seeing entities, and I've got to practice honing my skills. And so that's one of the keys to walking under an open heaven, is participating in plenty of practice. Key number 4 is patience. So this is the 5th key that I've mentioned so far. You've got to have patience when you're practicing, when you're developing your ability. I'll give you an example. If an illustration, if you watched a young girl and she's 6 years old and she's in a tennis tournament and she wins a tennis tournament, you can tell she's a proficient tennis player at 6, but it's not until the girl is 20 that she's in the final of Wimbledon. What's happened between 6 and 20? She's hit over 1 million balls over a net in practice. The 6-year-old wouldn't possibly think that she could go to Wimbledon. She's got to have patience over 14 years to reach the stage where she qualifies for Wimbledon and win a tennis tournament and go on and go up the rankings of the tennis elite. She's got to have patience, and with every gift and every talent we have in life, you've got to have patience, and you got to practice, point number 6 is you've got to, in some respects, lack a religious spirit. You've got to get rid of the religion in your spirit. If I was religious and I wasn't open to the things of God, when Billy Graham passed away, I could never have talked to Billy Graham if I didn't think that was possible, or I didn't think I was worthy to talk to him. When John Paul Jackson passed away, the prophet, if I didn't think I'd worthy, I couldn't talk to him. When Bob Jones passed away, similarly, if I didn't think I was worthy to talk to him, I couldn't have. But I talked to those three saints of the Lord. When I was watching TV one time, and I was watching a Michael Jackson documentary about his last concert. I think it was called The Last Stand, and he appeared in my living room and started dancing and singing to me. And I said to him, "What are you doing at my place? You're the king of pop." And he said, "And you're best friends with the King of Kings." And he sent me. And I've gone on to interview Michael 6 times in books that I've published. And I've interviewed Princess Diana, and I've interviewed Bob Jones, and I've been used to interview about 100 saints. And if I was tied up with the idea of necromancy and not talking to people who've passed on, and if I actually believed that the people in heaven were the dead mentioned in the Old Testament and were not to commune with the dead, if I was religious, this would never happen. And there's so many religious people, there's so much religion in people that can stop them or impede them from having good encounters with an open heaven. So I guess we could add point number 7. We've covered it in the point 6, but in the 6 points, but it'd be really handy rather than having knowledge and testimonials to have someone guide you on how to open your spiritual eyes. And I've mentioned Michael Van Vlymen and Praying Medic as 2 people that can help you in that area. And I didn't make a point of that, but that could be an essential part of developing the ability to walk under an open heaven. So if you listen to this video all the way along, can you do me a favor and like this video? If you've got anything you want to comment, please comment. And if this is your first video of mine, consider subscribing to my channel. God bless.